Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. Today is August, I think it's the 9th, but let's double check. Yep, August 9th, 2024. Just chilling here with Lammy Chillmeister, my co-host. I don't think I'm gonna do an intro today. I might do an outro, just small talk on everyday life stuff. Mostly Grand Theft Auto. I've been wanting to talk about that. But, let's get straight into the show. I know the episodes here lately have been a little off and non-conspiratorial, but it's been stuff that I just want to talk about, I don't want to talk conspiracy every single day, Today's going to be conspiracy, though. So, if you like conspiracy, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. But you know what I mean? I have a life, a personality, other stuff going on besides conspiracy. I don't want this channel to be nothing but conspiracy all the time. I do want to do just some fun, blue-pilled stuff every now and then. But that's about it. We'll get into the show. So, Kamala Harris, let's do some politics. Kamala Harris has chosen her vice president nomination. Now, this guy's name is Tim Walz, W-A-L-Z, or Tim Waltz, whichever you prefer. Walls have ears. Apparently he is a complete Democrat, leftoid fucking idiot. One of the things he's known for is sending American jobs to China. Another thing, this is the guy behind putting tampons in boys' restrooms. I've noticed people calling it men's restrooms. No, I'm going to call it what it is. If you're under 18, it's a boys' restrooms in schools. Look, I'm pretty classic liberal. I've told you guys before, I'm a classic liberal, but I did vote for Trump last election. I am a registered Republican, but I am going to change that when I re-register. And I'm voting RFK Jr. We're going to get into RFK later. I have no problem with trans people. I really don't have a problem with them. Blair White, one of my favorite content creators. I fucking love Blair White. My thing is we should not be talking sexuality at all with children. The only time that sexuality should be brought up at all would be like in human growth and development class. School is a place to be teaching science. It drives me nuts that the left, during the whole jibber jabber time was preaching trust the science, yet they don't believe in biology. Boys' restroom. There are boys in the restroom. I don't care if they identify as girls. You know what? I have no problem with them identifying as girls. And people referring to them as she or them or whatever they want. But they can't have periods. Sorry. I draw the line and I put my foot down on biology. So what is the point of having tampons in a boy's restroom? Do you know where that tampon's going? It's going up their fucking asshole. And to me, that can't be fucking good health-wise. You're providing basically sodomy sticks in boys' restrooms. It's disgusting and harmful to children. Why would you do that? Now, I'm sure I've had people in my comment section too. I had this comment one time because I did a whole episode on they had a trans Mother's Day commercial of a woman to man and a man to woman, and it was like, Happy Mother's Day. I can't remember which company. You'd have to go watch it. It's literally, I did a whole podcast episode on it. It's called like Trans Mother's Day or something, commercial. And I had a commenter go like, I've been watching you for a while trying to figure you out. Okay. I'm not that complicated. I literally say, I'm an occultist. I'm anti-Christian. I'm a classic liberal. Voting for RFK. I figure that kind of lays everything out politically, religiously, what I am. I have no problem with trans. But she said this episode is transphobic. Unsubscribing. Well, first of all, I've never really ran into, except for like Blue Anon people, which has like resurfaced with the whole Trump assassination thing being a hoax. I've never really ran into super liberal fucking conspiracy theorist. So why are you, first of all, stop trying to figure me out. That's weird. I've never listened to a channel and been like, I gotta figure this guy out. Like, this bitch was sitting here with a notepad, like, ready to be triggered. Like, well, she probably was, because she was a super fucking liberal person. An idiot. A leftoid, Who the fuck listens to a podcast just ready to get offended? Like, I gotta wait for these people. I gotta wait for this guy to slip up, That's like last podcast on the left fans, which I am one, but I'm not, like, they literally don't even check their comment sections. They don't check anything like that. They refer to their comment section as a snake pit. I'm like, wow, that's your fan base. You call your fan base a snake pit. Like, I don't know. I don't blame them for not checking it if people are that toxic in their comment sections. But I've always said I won't put up with that in my comment sections. Like, if you're an idiot, just get the fuck out. So that's what I told her. I said, oh, thanks for tuning in. See you later. I don't care if you unsub. I don't make money off this channel anyways. Except if I do, it's like, I think I made $30 from Anchor for like 250 episodes. $30. There you go. Like, I don't give a fuck if you sub or unsub. And she called me a transphobe, which is funny. And I don't care to self-deprecate, but it's like, bitch, you don't know what kind of weird porn I watch. My wife knows what I'm into. She knows I'm a fucking freak. I've already said that I'm a fucking freak. She's still stuck with me. She's just like, yeah, Abe's a pervert. He's a fucking freak. But I'm not transphobic. I draw the line at children. And I call them children, not kids, because kids is literally the name for baby goats. And I believe that words are magic and spells. Yeah. So we should stop calling our children kids. Children or child. That is one of the times you'll catch me being like weird about words and shit. But yeah. So if you feel that I'm a transphobe because I don't believe that we should be giving puberty blockers to children, we shouldn't be giving them tampons to biological males, and we shouldn't be cutting off little boys' penises, then adios. Get out of my channel. I don't care. See you later. Because to me, that's sexual perversion. It's borderline pedophilic. you are harming children's sexual body parts and stuff. Like, that's disgusting to me. Sorry, I draw the line there. But that's Kamala Harris's new vice president pick. Yeah, Tim Walz. If I find out more about this dude, we'll talk more about him. There is a conspiracy going on, though. Nikki Haley, which she's a piece of shit, too, from the Republican Party, is like, she has started a conspiracy theory that they are purposely tanking the Democratic nominee and Democratic vote. And I don't know, I'm open to all conspiracy. But, my thing is, why would they do that? It kind of freaks me out. I am still under the impression there might not be a fucking election, which terrifies me. Because my theory is if there's not another election, that they're pushing and wanting civil war, which terrifies me. Watch my review on Civil War, the movie. They're already putting it in people's subconscious with predictive programming and shit. That movie is scary. The whole time I was like, honestly, like, this should be a horror movie. And go watch the movie. It's insane. But that is a possibility that they're purposely tanking the Democratic votes and shit, which is scary. But I think that's it. Oh, by the way, too, Trump picked his vice presidential pick. It's a dude named J.D. Vance. I know nothing about this guy, but I do know that Trump's during his last presidency, he seemed to surround himself with complete idiots, like Giuliani, who was behind 9/11. Yeah, we all know that he literally chooses like the worst people to surround himself with. I cannot remember which podcast I listened to, but they were talking to, it might have been Tinfoil Hat, but they were talking to a guy who actually was a part of the Trump administration and did like a lot of office work with Trump. And he was saying that the people who surrounded him like literally hated him and were purposely being saboteurs. Like, he would sign off on something, put it on their desk, be like, get this to such and such place before sundown. And they would be like, yes, sir. And then just immediately throw it into the shredder or purposely forget it. And then the next day he would be like, dude, what the fuck? You know, because a lot of these bills and shit like this have to be at certain locations and signed off on and shit before certain times. So they were sabotaging him, and then he would fire that person. They would get replaced with another scumbag. Like, the dude was explaining how, like, everybody around him is like a pack of wolves just fucking him over. But yeah, that's it for, let me know though if you know anything about this JD Vance guy. I don't know much about him, so if you do, let me know. Is he cool? Does he suck? Because yes, I'm voting for RFK Jr. And I know you can hit me in the comments and say it's a throwaway vote. I already know, but I feel as an American he's the best choice, and I have a conscience, and my conscience says that I need to place my vote for him, whether he wins or loses. But I already know that Mr. Trump will probably be, if we have an election, and if they don't steal this next election, because they stole the last one and got away with it, so why wouldn't they do it again? If the next one is not stolen, and we actually do get Trump in, he at least needs to surround himself with non-wolves. But yeah, I might do a little research on this JD Vance guy, because if he's going to be the next vice president, it's probably good that I educate myself on him. And you should too. Next subject. Let's get into some Blue Anon stuff. So, when I first heard, this is really weird because this is like a Blue Anon conspiracy, and I have a QAnon friend, and the QAnon guy and the Blue Anon people are both saying the same shit, apparently, because my buddy's like super big into QAnon. I've done tons of episodes on it. Apparently the QAnon people are saying that either the Trump, I already got into it about Trump body double, blah, blah, blah. They're saying the same thing though, that Trump didn't actually get shot in the ear. It was a blood packet behind the ear. Now at first, because of the source being a Q-tard, I immediately was like, I don't want to hear it. That sounds retarded. Someone died in the audience. And by the way, no disrespect to the person who died or the person's family. You guys know I've been preaching about him and stuff and showing my respect and shit, telling people to pray for the family, you know, light a candle, cast a spell, whatever. This is weird. So Trump took his bandage off his ear like pretty fucking early on, and his ear is like magically healed. And this actually ties in with the whole antichrist theory. Watch Trump Was Shot. Go listen to that podcast. I kind of get into it, that there's mention of a dragon. I think it's got like 10 heads or 7 heads or something. One of the heads is wounded. It miraculously heals. And you know my opinions on the elites wanting to using Revelation as a playbook and wanting to forcefully make prophecies happen. Go listen to an episode called the Euphrates is drying up. Go check that episode out. I go on a big spiel about how I believe that the elites use prophecy to make the end of the world, forcefully make the end of the world happen, which would tie in with Sabbatean Frankism and shit. We need to do a whole episode on Sabbatean Frankism. I think it's very important because I truly believe that these elites, that's their secret religion, is Sabbatean Frankism. It's an off branch of like Judaism. But yeah, it ties in perfectly with the wounded head miraculously healing. So that's a little spooky. But I'm starting to actually look at the Blue Anon shit and go, holy shit, maybe this was fake. And rewatching like the videos of that stupid Q-tard guy who everyone says is JFK Jr., who's still alive. By the way, the QAnon people cannot even decide on, they believe that JFK Jr. is still alive, but they can't even decide who he actually is. Like, they say it's this guy, like, his name's like Frank Fusca or Michael Fusca, something like that. And then you have some that say that this other guy, who I did a whole episode on about JFK Jr. still being alive, I think is the title. JFK Jr. is still alive, question mark. There's another guy out there who's writing a book on it. But anyways, the Fusca guy is in the back, like, literally when Trump is shot, he's just standing there, like, acting like bullets aren't flying around him. I don't know, the audience's reaction behind him was kind of strange. It could have been a blood packet, you know, him smacking his ear, popping the blood packet. But how do you explain his ear just, like, magically healed like that? I mean, it was gushing blood. So unless he has super thin blood, which he might. I don't know what regimen he's on. Some medication. He's an old man. He's 70-something years old, so he could be on some form of medication that's causing his blood to thin, you know? Give me just a second. I know there was that whole conspiracy where someone caught Sudafed in his drawer and shit, so does Sudafed cause your blood to thin? You know? I don't know. Let me know what you think. I just wanted to discuss it. You know, I like to have episodes where we talk about multiple conspiracies and shit. So, that's segment number 2. Let's get into the next one. So, you guys know that this is not the typical conspiracy channel. And I actually usually piss off other people in other people's comment sections. They say, how do you call yourself Conspiracy Corner Podcast, yet, you know, you don't believe in what I believe, you know, especially when it comes to like the transphobic shit, like every woman in Hollywood is actually a man. You know, I watched a video the other day talking about how Sigourney Weaver's a man, and I literally commented, what if Sigourney Weaver is a hermaphrodite? Because no one ever brings up hermaphrodites. And the guy said, you're dumb and that's lame if you actually believe that. By the way, how do you call yourself a conspiracy theorist, conspiracy channel, if you don't believe that she's a man? Are you too dumb to see that? I said, no, I just don't automatically believe every single conspiracy I hear. Just because I'm a conspiracy channel doesn't mean I believe every single conspiracy. I try to use Occam's razor, realism, play devil's advocate, you know. But this is one of those instances that I've seen while watching The Quartering. So shout out to The Quartering. Give credit where credit is due. Go check his channel out. Tell him who sent you. Maybe he'll give me a shout out one of these days or something. He's been covering a shit ton of the Trump assassination attempt. He's one of the channels, probably number 1 channel I've been getting my info from. I didn't realize he was so much of a conspiracy theorist until here lately, you know. Normally his channel is kind of like just politics and like, I don't know, calling out crazy wokeness that's going on with video games and, you know, like kind of dumb blue pill shit. No offense, but like blue pill shit. I shouldn't have said dumb. That was mean. I wasn't intentionally doing it because I like The Quartering. But you know what I'm saying. Like, he usually doesn't get that deep into conspiracy. But he was covering, there's new police cam video of the Trump assassination attempt. And I noticed something that I wanted to point out, and he pointed it out too. They are trying to say now that the shooter got onto the roof with a pallet. First of all, I'm a night stalker at Kroger. You all know that, the regulars. I work with pallets all fucking night, stacking them, putting stuff on them, taking stuff off of them. A pallet is literally, the best way to climb it would be to lay it vertically against a building. I'm an expert on pallets. I am, though, sadly. I wish I wasn't. I wish I was an expert in something better career-wise, but I'm an expert on pallets. You would have to stack it vertically to climb it the best way. With the top part facing outward. And even then, it would be slightly difficult to climb because the spaces in between the boards are usually pretty slim. So, I mean, you'd have to be like tiptoeing, like cramming your little toes into that pallet. And even then, that pallet's only going to get you up. I would say the pallet size, if you lay it vertically, is about 5 foot. 5'5" tops. And we actually have shorter ones that are like 4.5 feet. Small ones, you know. And there's even smaller ones that are like 2 foot and shit. But the picture showed a regular average pallet, which is about 5 feet tall, vertically. Plus, you can't lay it exactly up against the wall because it's going to fall over. You can't climb that shit. So you'd have to lean it, which would drop it about a foot. So we're talking 4.5 feet, They are now trying to, in real time, wipe out the occasion that it was a ladder posted up against the building, which we all know it fucking was. There was receipts and everything. The shooter, Crooks, bought a ladder like the day before, brought the ladder with him, was seen carrying the ladder in. They are now trying to take away the whole ladder narrative in real time. This is even like the quartering was like, am I missing something? Did I completely just like, is my brain messed up? Am I going crazy? And it's like, no, you're not going crazy. They are trying to change the story in real time. Even though like hundreds of us conspiracy theorists, if not at least 1,000 of us, have reported on this and reported on the ladder. I reported on the ladder. I know that. They're going to say this is a false memory and gaslight us and say it's a false memory. And another thing too, the conspiracy community, I believe in Mandela effect, but I do think that Mandela effect has been turned against us by the non-conspiracy community, the elites. They're going to want us to think this is a false memory about a ladder. They're going to want us to believe that it's a Mandela effect. It is not a Mandela effect. I believe in Mandela effects, trust me. I've done episodes on Mandela effects and shit. Well, not episodes, but videos on Mandela effect. This is not a Mandela effect. You are not crazy. They are gaslighting us. They are changing the narrative in real time. It's not... And you know me, I use, like I said, Occam's razor, realism. I play devil's advocate, steel man, as Joe Rogan would call it. In real time, they are changing the shit. And it's not a fucking pallet. He bought a ladder from Home Depot like the day before. He has the receipts. We've already went through this. So, you're not crazy. And if you are crazy, so am I. I'm a little crazy. At least I know it. At least I admit it. But they say if you say you're crazy, that means you're not actually crazy. It's the ones who say I'm not crazy that are the ones that are actually crazy. No sense makes sense, as Charles Manson said. I think we're going to wrap it up there, though. So we covered 3 different subjects. Kamala Harris, well, technically, now about 3, because we didn't really get into J.D. Vance. I know nothing about this dude. Kamala Harris, new presidential pick. Trump's ear magically healing. How that relates to biblical prophecy, which, in my opinion, the elites are forcing and creating their own they're forcing biblical prophecy, man. Go check out, like I said, the Euphrates is drying up video. That's what that whole video is about, how the elites are controlling biblical prophecy, how they want the end of the world to happen because they're Sabbatean Frankist. Look into Sabbatean Frankism. And we also covered, the ladder, Mandela effect, which is what they're going to try to get us to believe it is, a Mandela effect. They're gaslighting us. They're going to say it's a false memory. It was a fucking ladder, not a pallet. This comes from a professional pallet expert. But Lammy, say goodbye. We'll wrap it up there. Goodbye, y'all. Y'all have a good day. Please like, share, and subscribe. And, yeah, do your own research. Hit me up in the comments if you know anything about J.D. Vance. Is he a good guy? Is he a garbage person? Is Trump surrounding himself with garbage people again? Catch y'all later.